Good afternoon, Tan Ajahn.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Let us pay respect to Tan Ajahn by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. We'll begin with the chanting. May we invite Tan Ajahn to lead us in the chanting, please.
Okay, so we start with the Buddha's verse for loving kindness. Kalaniya matta kusalena yantang santang patang apisame cha sakko uchu cha suhuchu cha suwacho cha samutu anatimani santu sako cha suparo cha apakicco cha sallahu kavutti santin triyo cha nipako cha appakappo kulesu ananukitho na cha kut thắng sama cha re kin chi ye na vin yo pa re upavathayong sukhino va khe mino hon tu sapphe satta bhavantu sukhitata ye ke tipana puta titasava thavara anavase sati khawa ye mahantava machimara saka anukatula Tithava ye cha atitha ye cha thure vasanti avithure Bhutava sampave siva sapphe satta bhavantu sukhitata naparo parang nikuphe thananti manye thakatati namkinti phayaro sanapatika sanya nanyamanya sathukamichayamata yatha niyang puttang Ayusa eka putta manurakhe evam pisappa pote sumana sampavaye aparimanang metan ca sappa loka samingmana sampavaye aparimanang puttang atho jatiriyan ca asampatang averang asapattang Titthang carang nisinno va sayano va yavata savikatamitho etang sating atithaya brahma metang viharang itama hutithin ca anupakhamma sīdava thassanena sampanno kame subinaya kethang nahi chatu khappasayang punareti ti. Now let us chant the Buddha verse on loving kindness. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties, and fruitful in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud and demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing. That's the wise would rather reprove, wishing in gladness and in safety. May all beings be at ease, whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong or meeting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harms upon another, even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child. So with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading ours to the skies and ours to the depths, ours and unbounded, free from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness. One should sustain this reparation. This is said to be the sublime abiding. By not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of visions, being free from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. Okay, so we do the special chant, Uttanipata. Start with the Kama Sutta. Kamang kamayamanasa tassa cetang samiccati attapiti manohoti lattha macco yaticcati tassa ce kamayanasa chantacha tassa chantuno te kama parihayanti sallavitto varuppatiโยกาเมปริวัชเชติสัพพเสวะปทาสิโรโสมังวิสัตติกังโลเกสโตสมติวัตติเขตังวัตถุงหิรัญญังวาขวาสังทาสโพริสังทิโยพันธุปุถุกาเมโยนโรอนุคิจฉติอัปพลานังภริยันติมัทธันเตนังปริสยาตโตนังทุกขมันเวตินาวังพินนะมิโวทกังตัสสมาชันตุสดาสโตกามานิปริวัชเชเยเตปหายาตเรโอคังนาวังสิตวาวะปารโคติกามาสตังนิทิตังThe chapters on octaves, sensual pleasures. When a mortal desires sensual pleasures, if that succeeds for him, surely he is elated in mind, having gained what he desires. But when full of sensual desires, a person is aroused by sensual desire. If those sensual pleasures decline, he is afflicted as if pierced by a dart. One who avoids sensual pleasures, like a serpent's head with the food, being mindful, overcomes its attachment to the world, fields, land, or brilliance, cattle or horses, slaves and servants, women's relatives. When a person greedily longs for various sensual pleasures, even the weak overpower him, obstacles crush him, then suffering enter him as water does a broken boat. Therefore, ever mindful, a person should avoid sensual pleasures. Having abandoned them, one can cross the flood, as by bailing out the boat, one can reach the further shores. Next one, Kuhataka Sutta. Satto kuhayang pakuna pichanno Itang naro mohanasaming pakhalaho ture viveka hitatha vitoso kama hiloke nahi suppahaya ichcha nithana pavasata pattha te thuppamunca nahi anyamokha paccha pure vapi apekhamana imeva kame purimeva chappang Kame sukitha pasuta pamullaha avathaniya te visame nivitha tukho panita paritevayanti kinsu bhavisama ito jutase tasma hisikhe tatite vashanto yang kinti chanya visamanti loke natassa hetu visamang charayaปันหิตังชีวิตมาหุติราปัสสามิโลเกปริพันธมานังปะชังอิมังตันหคตังภเวสุทีนานารามัจจุมุเคลปันติ อวีตตันหาสิภวาภเวสุมมายิเตปัสสัทธพันธมาเนมัชเชวะอัปโปทะเกขีนะโสเตเอตัมปิทิสวะอมมโมจเรยาภเวสุอาสัตติมักปุปปมาโนอุปโพโสอุปโพสุอันเตสุวินัยฉันทังภัสสังปริญญายะอานานุคิตโตยะทัตตคารหิตทัพทุปัปปมาโนนาริปติติตสุเตสุธีโรสัญญังปริญญาวิตรยโอคังบริกขเหสุมุนิโนปลิตโตอัพพุลหสันโลจรมัตปมัตโตนาสีสติโลกมิมังปรัญจาติผู้หัตถกสุตังนิคิตัง The cave stuck in the cave densely covered over dwelling immersed in bewilderment. A person such as this is far from seclusions, for the world's sensual pleasures are not easily abandoned. Based upon desires, bound to enjoyments of existence, they let go with difficulty, for there is no release through others. Concerns too with the future or the past, they hanker for these sensual pleasures or earlier ones. Those greedy for sensual pleasures, intent on them, are confused, stingy, settle in the unrighteous. When they come upon suffering, they lament, what will we be after we pass away here? Therefore, a person should train right here. Whatever in the world one might know as unrighteous, one should not on its account act unrighteously. For the wise say his life is short. I see in the world this population tumbling all over, addicted to craving for states of existence. Inferior people, prattles in the mouth of death, not devoid of craving for various states of existence. See them tumbling over things taking as mine, like fish in a depleted stream with a little water. Having seen these two, one should take nothing as mine, not forming attachment to state of existence. Having removed desire for both ends, having fully understood contact without greed, not doing anything for which one might blame oneself, the wise person is not tempted by things seen or heard. Having fully understood perception, one can cross the flood. The Muni, untainted by possessions, with the dart extracted, living heedfully, do not desire this world or another. The next one, Tutthattaka Suttam. Vatanti ve tuttamana pi eke, atho pi ve satchamana vatanti, vatanta chatang munino upeti, tasma muni natti kilo kuhinti, sakkan hititing kathamacchayaya, chantanuni to rutirani vitto, sayang samattani pakuppamano, yatha hi chanaya tatha vathaya, yo attano silavata hi chantu, ananuputtho va paresu pava, anariyatamang kusala tamahu, yo atumahnang sayameva pava, santo ca bhikkhu apinipputatto, ittihansu silesu akattamano, tamariyatamang kusala vatanti, yasussatha natti kuhinti loke, pakappita sankata yassa dhamma, purakkata santi avivatata, yathattani passati anisangsang, tang nissito kuppapaticca santing, tithi nivesana hisavati vatta, dhammesu niccaya samukkahitang, tassamana rotesu nivesanesu, nirassati atiyati ca dhammang, thonassa hinatti kuhinti loke, pakappita tithi bhava bhavesu, มายัญจะมานัญจะปหายโทโนสเกนะคัจฉยะอนุปโยโสอุปายโยหิธัมเมสุอุเปติวาทังอนุปยังเกนะกะทังวัฏยาอัตตานิรัตตานะหิตัสสะอัตติอัตโตสีโสทิฏฐมิเทวสัพพันเตพุทธะกะสุตตังนิพพิตัง The hostile. Some speak with hostile minds, while some speak with minds bent on truth. The Muni does not become involved in an arisen dispute. Therefore, the Muni has no balancedness anywhere. How could one transcend one's own will? If, drawn by desire, one is entrenched in a preference, taking one's own views to be perfect, one would speak as one understands. When a person, without being asked, proclaims to others his own good behavior and observance, the skills say he is one of ignoble nature, since on his own accord he proclaims himself. But when a peaceful people, one inwardly quenched, does not boast of his good behavior by saying, I am thus. The skills say he is one of noble nature, who has no swellings anywhere in the world. One who has formulated impure teachings, put them together and advance them, becomes attached to the benefits he sees for himself, to that peace dependent on the unstable. Attachments to wills are not easily overcome. Having decided among teachings, one tightly grabs a will. Therefore, among those bases of attachment, a person rejects and takes up a teaching. One who is cleansed formulates no views anywhere in the world about various states of existence, having abandoned hypocrisy and conceit. Through what would the cleansed one go astray when he is uninvolved? One involved is embroiled in disputes about teachings, but how about what could one dispute with one uninvolved? Nothing is taken up or rejected by him. He has shaken off all views right here. The next one, Chara Sutang. Appang Vatachi Vitang Itang Orang Vasasata Pimiyati Yo Jepi Atitachi Vati Athako So Charasa Pimiyati So Chanti Chana Mayite Nahi Santi Nitya Parikhaha Vina Bhavasantame Vitang Ittiti Sawana Karamawase Maranena Pitang Pahiyati Yang Puriso Mamitanti Manyati Etam Pivititawa Pandito Namamataya Nametamamako Supinena Yathapi Sankhatang Patiputto Puriso Napassati Evam Pipiyayitang Chanang Petang Karakatang Napassati Hittha Pisuta Piteshana Yesang Nama Mitang Pawucchati Naman Yewa Vasissati Akhayang Petassa Chantuno So Kapparitheva Maccarang Nachahanti Kittha Mamayite Tasma Hunayo Parikhahang Ittawa Acharing Sukhe Mathassino Patilina Charasa Bhikkhuno Pacchamanassa Vivittamasanang Samakhiyama Hutassatang Yo Attanang Bhavanena Thassaye. Old age. Short alas is this life. One even dies before 100 years. Even if one lives longer, one still dies because of old age. People sorrow over things taken as mine, for there are no permanent possessions. Having seen that there is separations, one should not live the home life. Whatever a person conceives that this is mine, that too is abandoned at death. Having understood this, a wise ones, my follower, should not incline to take things as mine. Just as on awakening, a person does not see, Whatever was encountered in a dream, so too one does not see a beloved person who has died and passed away. Although those people were seen and heard and were known by such and such a name, when a person has passed away, the name alone remains to be uttered. Those who are greedy for personal assets do not escape sorrow, lamentation, and miserliness. Therefore, the Munis, seers of securities, vendors having abandoned possessions, when a people lives withdrawn, resorting to a secluded seat, they say it is appropriate for him not to show himself in the fixed dwellings. Sappattamuni anisito napiyang kupati no pi apiyang tasaming paritheva macharang pannevariyatana limpati at upthapinto yatha pipokare patume variyatana limpati ewang munino palimpati yatithang tithasutang mute suwa Tono nahite namanyati yatithang tithasutang mute suwa nane na visuddhi michati nahiso rachati no virachati ti charasutang chatang nititang. Okay, we can pass this. Maybe just go to the translation. The Muni is not dependent on anything. He takes nothing as pleasing, nothing as displeasing. Lamentation and miserliness do not stick to him, as water does not stick to the leaf. Just as the water drops does not stick to a lotus leaf, or water to the lotus flower, so the Muni does not cling to anything among the scenes, heard, or sensed. One prince does not thereby conceive things seen, heard, or senses. He does not wish for purification by another, for he becomes neither passionate nor dispassionate. Okay, we can end here, I think.
Thank you, Ajahn, for guiding us in the chanting. Let us formally request for 3 refuge, 5 and 8 precepts together. We begin by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. Mayang bante tisaranena saha atta pancha silani yachama dutiyampi mayang bante tisaranena saha atta pancha silani yachama tatiyampi mayang bante tisaranena saha atta pancha silani yachama.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami
ติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami
ตติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami
ตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami
ตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami
สรณะคัมมนังนิจิตัง
Ama bante
ปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami
อทินนาทานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
Adinnadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami
กาเมสุมิชฌาจาราเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
กาเมสุมิจฉาจาราเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
มุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
Musawada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami
สุราเมรยมัชฌปมาทฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
Sura Meraya Majapamadatana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami
Now this is for the 8th preceptor. อภรมจริยาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
Abrahmacharya Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami
วิการโภชนาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
Vikala Bhojana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami
อัตติตวทิตวิสุปัฏฐสนามาลาคันทวิเลปนะธารณมันดนะวิภูสนัฏฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
Nacha Gita Varita Visukkha Dasana Mala Ganda Vilepana Dharana Mandana Vibhusanatana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami
อุจจาสยนะมหาสยนาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
Ucca Sayana Mahasayana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami
อิมานิปัญจอัตถสิกขาปทานิสมาธิยามิ
Imani Atta Sikkhapadani Samadhiyami Imani Atta Sikkhapadani Samadhiyami Imani Atta Sikkhapadani Samadhiyami
สีเลนะสุขติงยันติสีเลนะโภคสัมปทาสีเลนะนิพุติงยันติตัสมาสีลังวิโสทะเย
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let us bow 3 times again. Just bow. Second bow. Third bow. We will now formally request for the Dhamma Talk.
รามาจะโลกาคิปักปีสหังปักปีกักตันจะลีอันคิวักรังอายาจักขาสันติทักษะตาปักรักจักขักจักติกาเอเสพุทธังมังอนุกังปิกมังปักจัง
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโต Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Buddhang Dhammang Sanghang Namasami. So we meet again after a long pause for 2 weeks, and just past the 1st of February, the Chinese New Year. For many of us, it's another beginnings. We have a second start. Maybe whatever thing that we try to do on New Year's, we try for a month. Now it's another second chance to start another determination, another aspiration to do the good thing and to abandon whatever we think we should do. So this is just another convention that we depend on what system that we have. In the West, they have 1st of February, but this year Chinese New Year, the 1st of February. But if you Thai, you have another chance coming up in April, another Thai New Year. So we got many new beginning. So this is a time for us to this is the time to reflect upon the past. The time is like going around like circle. This is like the circle coming back again after a year, after the earth rotate around the sun. The season come back to the starting point. So this is the way of, I think it's good reflections or anything that arising and passing away, and then slowly come back to its original starting point again. But it's not exactly coming back to the same point. Otherwise, then there will be no improvement or no decline. So it's like a spiral. So you can either spiral upward or you can spiral downward. So you can think about this time of last year, like, okay, what am I doing, or do I moving closer toward the goal that we set up for us, or we moving away from the goal that we set that we want it to be. So this is a time for us for reflections and to maybe readjust, maybe, and then sometimes we lost the direction, like we want to go this way. We set our compass. Okay, this is what we want to do. We want to improve ourselves, want to be more wise. The precept have to be more strict to ourselves, to have more time for meditation, have more time for study Dhamma, able to let go more, less addiction to whatever we find ourselves addicted to. Many things to be addicted to these days. So are we moving toward that goal or not, or we moving away from that? So this is the time for us to reflect on that and try to be focused and just basically learn from our experience. We have a year pass by, and what have we learned through those years? We learn by mistake, and then we correct our mistake, and that's how we improve. We not only who we are, but we also the one that we could be, the potential that each of us have. And I think being born as human beings, we more or less we want something better. We want to improve ourselves, and the truth or the true happiness is what everybody are looking for, and the happiness that mundane, like day-to-day happiness, it just somehow is not fulfilling our heart. And we want something more meaningful, something deeper, something that will basically fulfill our need of truth and peace and free from this bondage. So this is the good time to reflect on that particular subject. Are we moving toward that goal? So like we come here and we connect to our precept, our moral, ethical life in terms of the action, the verbal and the bodily action that we express, that we manifest toward the world. How we do things in line with our goal. Basically, first of all, we're not harming our friends, our fellows, our living beings. We try to live a life that is blameless. And when we reflect upon that, it's free of remorse, because that is an important part of the life that we having born. If whatever we don't like other people to do to us, we not want to do that to other people. Because if we give our happiness make other people around us suffering, then it will not last. Other people will try to undermine our happiness, and we just spiral all the way down, increasing violence and tit for tat, and those never end to that. Like Buddha say, the hatred never end with hatred. It's always end with forgiveness and then move forward. So whatever we have, any hold the grudge to other people, just let it finish here. We don't want to carry on. Forgive and then start all over again. So that's the reason why we always come back to the starting point. Like the rules of the doctor. The first rule is to do no harm. So whatever you do, you just do no harm first. So this is the very good principle that you can reflect upon again and again. If you whatever you do in terms of the action toward the world, if it harm other living being, then stop it and then do the opposite. Do it with loving kindness, with compassion, with the heart of compassion, and precept is the beginning. And then you train your heart and you train your mind with the meditation. This is another way to live harmoniously with yourself, to learn how is your mind work. This is the thing that you can learn actually all the time. It's just everything that we do have some consequence, and if you have a chance to slow down, live more simple, have the precept as your boundary, then it's like you have this control. It's like a laboratory where you can learn about your mind and what is really happiness, what is the true cause of happiness, what is the suffering. Because we want the happiness, but somehow we end up create a lot of suffering to ourselves. So we need to slow down and then look at that with the mindfulness, so that we not get lost in the old pattern of repeatedly harm to ourselves. So the precept is not harm to others, but the samadhi is not harm yourself by bringing all those trouble, worries, to poison your mind. So you basically stay calm, and so your mind can be still enough for the wisdom to develop. So and then when the mind is free from hindrances, from this obstruction, then we can see things more clearly. The teaching of the Buddha will will mean more. It's like it will go deeper than just thinking. Sometimes it just go here, it doesn't go here. We have a Thai word mean khao jai. Khao is mean entering, jai is heart. Because it can be khao hua, meaning you go to the head. When you read the sutta, you understand it here, but it's not coming down here. So you need some pathway connection. So the teaching will go all the way to your heart. And when you go to your heart, then if you internalize it, it's not just philosophical understanding. You just understand it deeply. It belongs to you now. It's not just the saying of the Buddha, but you internalize it as it become yours. You really see that, not by yourself. When your heart is open, so you need to cultivate this quality, this quality of the heart that is patient enough to let time for it's like a lotus blooming. The heart is always the shape of a lotus. The lotus needs the light to bloom at the same time as the water. So you basically you need the water and the light. The water is like the happiness that's coming from meditation, from samadhi, from concentration, and the light is like the wisdom, the Dhamma that the Buddha explained. So when both come together, then the lotus in our heart is blooming, and this is how the similarly to the Buddha we compare understanding like the lotus. So we in the New Year's we come back again to that principle of what are we heading for? Are we heading toward the light? Every day go by, we understand more. The teaching of the Buddha that maybe we chant every day, but it's not really fully understand. But when we get older, it's more meaningful, and it's just easier to let go things. When you get older, sometimes it's not worth thinking about it so much, because in the end everything changed. Just moving continuously towards the next thing. You're becoming a new things all the time. Nothing staying the same. So you just have to adjust and learn from it. And every moment you are die from the past moment, and you're reborn in the present moment again and again. So, but you like to say you spiral up. Basically, if you coming to the right direction, then your heart should feel easier, and that involves your lifestyle as well. If you have the life that's free of remorse, and you follow the precept, then when you reflect upon it, you got a happy heart. And also when you learn to meditate, and that meditation become your routine, your mind is constantly go back to that refuge that you create for yourself, or whatever it is, your meditation object. Somebody like the breathing, the anapanasati. Sometimes people like the metta, and come back to that as your dwelling place. In the Pali, it's called viharati. Viharati means abiding or staying. So this is not the thing that you. It's not like you're traveling, like you are visiting. You're going there, and maybe you do that for a while. You go to the foreign country, you stay there for a few weeks, and you come back. Then if that's such a case, it's not viharati, it's not abiding, it's not your place of staying. If you want to stay there, you have to make it your home. You have to be comfortable with it. Basically meaning that you always go back to that as your roosting place, as your home. So I think we are practiced for quite a while now. Many of you are familiar face. We see you almost every week. So I hope that of all this year, at least you'll find something that consider your abiding place, or you can call it this home, because that can be your refuge. So whatever that might be, maybe if you use as the breathing meditation, that can be your resting place when you're free of things, rather than running around. You just put your mind back to that breathing meditation, and just be at home with that. That is your best, basically. When nothing else going on, your default is go back to that meditation. So that it become your resting place, your ground. And then of course, when you have things to do, you just go out and then do that and come back. It's like you're going to work. If you don't have home to stay, then you might be in trouble. When the rain comes, the sun, the snow, whatever. But if you have a home, you can come back to that place. It's the same thing, but you have to create your own home. So you can't just be homeless and wandering around. The same way we create this dwelling place, this home for our heart, this meditation object. So somebody liking the Buddha Nusati, thinking about the Buddha, what the Buddha might do in this situation, maybe studying his story a little bit and to appreciate what he do and what's the meaning of having the Buddha, what will make the difference, the world with the Buddha and the one without the Buddha. It's a big difference. He shine many light to many things, and he teaching the Dhamma, and many people follow his example and inspired by him, and basically become his follower. And with that, it's just a lot of things coming out from that. Or you can be inspired by the Dhamma, you'll be reading and understanding new things, and or the Sangha, by the community of the Sangha that you help to support, and then you can benefit from that particular group of people, like a Kalyana Mitta, helping each other along the path. This is a thing that we reflect upon when it's coming to New Year's, and then set the ethicals and the moral compass. Maybe readjust it. Sometimes maybe we get sidelined for a while, busy with some minor thing, and then it's a time for us to go back, and then like what we see, the pulling the sock down. Sometimes when we walk, and then the sock is slowly going down, now we pulling it up, make it more tight, in terms of the sila, the practice, or this thing. And the other day that is maybe not many people know is 2nd of February. The 2nd February is also a very interesting day. It's called the Groundhog Day. I don't think many people know that, unless you live in the West. In America, they have this small village in Pennsylvania, where this is the time of the year, 2nd of February, where they observe this small creature, this groundhog. It will come out from its basically place in winter, come out from its hole and going up. And they say if the groundhog see their own shadow, it will go back down in the hole, and you will have a long winter. So this is become like a myth of people will come and then celebrate this Groundhog Day. And but I remember before I ordained, it's a very old movie. I think it's called, the movie is called Groundhog Day. Basically, it's I think it's have very Buddhist theme. I think the leading role is Bill Murray. He was the reporter who was sent to report on this groundhog. Basically, he's quite not a nice man. So he go and he wrote to his friend and his girlfriend or people around him, and he do this report of this weather forecast, looking this groundhog, and he go back to sleep, and he wake up the next day. It end up the same day. Basically, he trapped in this one day. It's called groundhog day. Every morning he wake up with this very nasty clock. It's just playing the song of this groundhog day, and it's like, I think it's very beautifully described the samsara. Basically, it's a no ending. What happens if you wake up the same day over and over and over? What would you do? So this is the meaning of this movie, and it's just very interesting to see the character development from this person. In the beginning, he basically take advantage of that situation. He do a really bad thing to his friends and his girlfriend. He even go far to rob the bank. One day he just decided to rob the bank and got a lot of rich of money and do and spend on many things. So he spent many days do this and that, but he getting bored. I mean, what can you do in one day? And the next day you start all over again. You wake up the same day again. So it comes to the point where he get very boring, and he go and kill himself. So he tried different way. He tried out from the cliff. He killed himself in the bathtub. But then the next day he just start again, basically reborn again on the same day. And I think so. After a while, he just learning that the best way to spend the same day is to be nice, basically, to use that the knowledge that he have in that day to help people around him. He know exactly what time this boy will fall down from the tree, so he go and catch that, and he know what's going on in this and that particular thing, and he even take time to learn piano, take time to learn the ice carving. So many things that he learned. Of course, like all the Hollywood movie, he end up basically know what the love is, and then he get be loved by his people around him, and be loved and all those things. And he, in the end, he able to come out of that day. After he learned the lesson, I think it's very very similar to the Buddhist theme of this trapped in the samsara. You just reborn again in circle until you release from it. You overcome it. You know what it means. You learn from making a mistake, and then in the end, you know that when you do something good, that when you're able to let go. You can't let go by doing things bad. You will come back again. You just have to redo it until you do better, and this is the only way out of this samsara. So I watched it very long time when I was I think in secondary school. But this theme is very still. I still remember this movie. I think it's the people who do it. They have a lot of at least a lot of Buddhist understanding in that. So like the groundhog come up, and then normally they look at their own shadow, and then they go back right down to the cave, go back again, until they look on the other side, look to the light, and then they go out of the hole. So it's like the sutta that we just try in the cave. We spend a lot of time in that cave, but if we turn in the wrong direction, we turn in the direction of greed and getting, grabbing, holding on, seeing the shadow of self. Is like you are seeing the suffering. You are basically, but you have the cause, the craving. You want to grasp on happiness, but it's like you're grasping on your own shadow. You're never able to do that. So the more you do it, the more you get deeper and deeper into the cave. All you have to do is you have to do the opposite. You're letting go, giving, understanding, and basically what you do, you turn the other way, turn toward the light, not toward your own shadow. Not be selfish, thinking about yourself, but learn to give, learn to share, like starting to give, and of course the sila, the being volunteer, helping out with the public work and all those things, leading to a more and more understanding and letting go less and less self, and basically you turn to the other side, to the light, and in this sense, the Nibbana is the real life, and then the samsara is the cave or the hole that you dig yourself down. So this another very nice symbols of this movie as well, that I think we can learn a lot from that. 2nd of February is a Groundhog Day, and because I used to stay in Michigan, is close to this Pennsylvania place where they have this festival. And in Detroit, in Michigan, where I'm staying, is a lot of snow, and especially the 2nd of February is like the mid-time, the winter is come to the middle point. So, and then it's to know whether we're gonna have the long winter or the short winter is a little bit exciting. But I think in the end, the groundhogs always look at the shadow and always go down, and they always have a long winter somehow. So this is a myth of this day. So this February is a shortest month of the year. It's not like other months. It always have either 30 or 31 days, but February is somehow only 28 or 29. It's the shortest month of the year. And we have this special day, special Chinese New Year, Groundhog Day, and all this very interesting month of the year. And we can reflect upon this. And I guess we also have this Valentine's Day as well coming up, and also another important day in Buddhism is Magha Bucha, the day of, you can say, the loving in the Buddhist sense, the loving in the sense of having this community of Sangha, which is almost like the compassion that the Buddha create, is this institution, the Sangha, that passed down the teaching of him and all the lifestyle and things, and that is almost like the most precious gift that anybody can do to the world. Basically, not only himself get enlightened, but he also teaching the Dhamma, and also design the Sangha that will last for 5,000 years, which is probably the longest any institution that can ever have. We still remain true to the meanings and the practice in the same way of the Bhikkhu Sangha. So this is the really interesting month. Is have a new year, have a decision whether to go back to samsara or to go out, and have a Valentine's Day, the day of love, and the day of Magha Puja, the day of the love to the Buddha, the love to the path and the teaching that he gave to us, the teaching that he left behind, very concise, not doing evil, do good, and purify your heart. This is the core of the teaching, so you can learn in the Magha Puja. So all in this February month, which is a special month. So this is a good time for us to reflect upon this cycle again. Maybe you compare to the last year, what you're doing at this same time the year before. Are you getting better? Are you getting anything that you can correct yourself? Any mistake you learn on the way, and make that your determination. You learn from your mistake, and you move forward to become better person, to spiral upward rather than going down. You try to go away from that. So this is the thing that how do you make progress in the noble by letting go of the past that is unwholesome, and then always do the wholesome things, so until you're able to do the highest form of wholesome, which is the cut the kilesa, and then get into end of suffering, which is the nibbana. So this is within the meaning and symbol of this day, whether it's New Year, the Groundhog Days, or or the Valentine Day, the Makapucha, just the thing that we can contemplate and set up our moral compass and stick with that every year. So it always comes down to us, the way we walk, to get a good sense of friendships. That is very important. I think in this past few years, we somehow, because of the pandemic, we might not be able to be close to each other. But if we practice, then that we can be close to each other by practicing. When we practice, when we keep the precept, then you think the same way as people who have the same precept as you. Because that I mean, if you follow precept, then you probably know how to keep the 5 precepts. The obstacle, what is the how to avoid breaking this and that precept. You can learn from each other. If you take in the 8 precept, you can also, your mind is more close to the one who keep 8 precept, because you have more challenging, how to keep it more syllabate, how to focus your mind. And so so you just basically learn along the way, by making the higher commitment. Maybe you meet a new group of friends who have the same of the commitment as you, so you can learn from each other. And that is the power of Kalyana Mitta, that we can learn, and then we can progress, we can help each other along this path. So this is the times of the year that especially in Thailand, it's not too cold. It's probably one of the I live in northeast, in Isan. It's one of the comfortable weather. It's not too hot, and usually the weather not too cold anyway. We might have the few strong wind for a few days, but other than that, it's just the weather is just mild, and it's very conducive for practice. Sometimes we have the fogs a little bit, because we live near the river. Very nice weather in the morning, so it's really good for meditation. Then the night get long, and it's probably the longest time. Then the night is almost up until 6 or 6:05. The sun is not up yet. So it's a cycle of the day where maybe in the old day, when we don't have electricity, it's the cycle of the night is longer than the day. So we end up spending more time with ourselves rather than going out. So again, this is a good time for us to meditate and to learn to be with ourselves, to be learn to how these things work. How is this mechanism of happiness and suffering? What is the intention? And you can learn by observe your own thinking. When you do such and such way, what is the result of that? So this the challenge is when something is good, but you don't want to do it. Like maybe meditation or whatever. In the beginning, it might be difficult to force yourself to do it, but when you do it often enough, and if you learn that, okay, when our mind is peaceful, then actually it's a lot of happy coming from that. So when you learn that, then you don't need to force yourself anymore. It's become your habit, because you like to do it. And when you can have joy coming from that. But it takes time, like everything else. It's one of the skills that you learn to do it. So I hope that this time of the year, you especially with this, we have more time by ourselves. We can set out more time for meditation and for reflections. The weather is nice, especially morning and evening. It's not too hot. Can sit a bit longer than usual. Maybe read some sutta. The night is darker than usual, but it's, at the same time, it's being sense of the peace and quietness around it. Not so many activity going on. Early morning, we can use that time for self-reflections and meditation and understand the teaching of the Buddha. Okay, so I think I maybe not going for too long. Just bring the monks for the donation for yesterday to recover from it. So maybe I just not go for so long. Just today and like I said, tomorrow will be the last week because I'm going to Kanchanaburi for another course for about 3 or 4 months. So hopefully that next time will be wrap it up. I don't know how long to do it for, maybe almost a year. I think about the time. So hopefully that whatever your determination is on the Chinese New Year, may all of your determination successful. You're able to overcome all the obstacles, abandon what you need to abandon, and achieve what you want to achieve. Slowly be patient, endurance, and stick to the schedule. And if you walk every day, not turning back, and keep your direction direct to where you go, then sooner or later you'll reach the goal. So I hope all of you in the 2 years we coming out from this hole, turn toward the light, not going back to the hole again, and stay alert, awake, and be mindful, not to be heedless. Things are nothing is stable. Is everything change all the time. We have to learn to live within the change and to be mindful where we know way around, and keep ourselves and learn from whatever is come. And suffering is the truth. The cause of suffering is also the truth that we have to learn to let go. And the past, of course, we have to cultivate that noble eightfold path until we reach Nibbana at the end. So I hope all of you to be fulfilled in your wishes. May all your wishes come true, and stay safe until I see you all next week on Fridays.
Han damayang dhamma kataya sadhu karang dadamase.
Sadhu, 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 anumodami. New Ajahn for the very precious Dhamma teaching and guidance. Actually, Ajahn has been teaching us since August 2020, if I record correctly. Yes, so it's actually 1 year and almost 6 months, 1.5 years.
Oh, okay. Oh, longer than I thought. Okay, very good.
And today is actually the 69th Zoom session. So next Friday will be the 70th session, Zoom session. Yes.
Oh, quite a long.
Not
realized that we last this long. Huh?
Yes, 1.5 years. So we have really learned a lot from Ajahn, and we will definitely treasure every session that we have with Ajahn. Yes, and we will not take for granted the Dhamma that you teach. And we also hope that after you return to Benong, if you have the time, if the conditions arises, you can continue to teach us, because I think a lot of us we have really benefited tremendously So although today is not the last session, next Friday is the last session, we just want to say this first.
By the time I come back next time, maybe all the strict up the COVID might be gone. People will traveling back to the same normal again. Many country already lift up the quarantines and all those things, right? So I mean, people I think
Yes.
couldn't wait to go back to that normal time. So who knows? Maybe it's possibility. In May, in June, we might just go back, and I might see you as we usually see once a year with the trip in Malaysia and Singapore. So let's see how it goes. Okay. So, but who knows? It can be anyway. But we have to prepare. Whatever comes, we be ready. We be mindful, and whatever form it takes to keep contact and support each other along the way. I think that's most important. That we know that we have a group of people, another group that around the corner of the world to keep practicing, and with the encouragement and things. We're not facing it by ourselves. We have the group of people who can support it. I think it's a lot of help in that matter. So yeah, and as a monk, we also happy to see to see a lot of lay people very seriously about that practice, even though you are also busy, have to earn a living, and things also inspire us as well. So I really enjoy the session, and I hope that you all learn from it and be benefit from it.
Thank you, Tanajan. Brothers and sisters, let us pay respect to Tanajan by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. We will invite Tanajan now to lead us in the closing homage, please.
Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Sawakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang Namami.
Once again, thank you, Tanajan. We'll see Tanajan next Friday again, and we will just take every opportunity as a precious opportunity.
Okay, see you next week.
See you, Tanajan, next week.